following is a production of DallasCowboys.com and the Dallas Cowboys Football Club.
How about them Cowboys? Yeah!
This is Talkin Cowboys. Streaming live from the Dallas Cowboys World Headquarters at the Star in Frisco.
First down, handoff, Elliott plowing to the goal line. Barry, sacked by Lawrence. Prescott keeps it, and he bangs it in for the touchdown.
Here are Mickey Spagnola, Brian Broaddus, Rob Phillips, and Bill Jones.
And an early Happy New Year, everybody. It is Talking Cowboys on New Year's Eve, 2019. I am Bill Jones with Brian Broaddus in the house. Hello, Mr. Draft Show.
Hello, hello. How we doing, guys?
Rob Phillips in the house. Hello. You going to talk about your trip yesterday? You want to save it?
Let's save it.
We'll save it. Hello, Mr. Aggie, Rob Phillips.
Hello, hello.
And Mr. Graybeard, Mickey Spagnola, still not shaving.
No, absolutely not. It's only March.
That's right.
That's right.
Does that mean you're keeping it?
So New Year's Eve, huh?
It is New Year's
You on
Eve.
like the Chinese calendar or whatever that is?
It's the NFL New Year starts tomorrow. You know that, Mickey Spagnola. And this is sort of like amateur hour. This legal tampering period, it's amateur hour, and the real stuff is tomorrow, you know? That's the way I look at it. I look at it like the real New Year's Eve when you're a drinker. It's amateur hour on New Year's Eve. You don't go out. You don't drink on New Year's Eve if you're a real drinker.
Yeah. Why, is anything going on out there, Bill?
A few things going on. What's caught your eye so far?
How much money other teams are about to spend starting Wednesday?
That's right.
But again, I mean, we do this every year, right?
That's why it's amateur hour.
Why aren't the Cowboys doing more? Who says they're not looking at getting things done? You know, we don't know what they're trying to do right now, but we do know they have a cap on how much money they want to spend. They always do that. But to say they're not going to do anything, I wouldn't go that far.
No. I'm amazed. Well, not really amazed. I'm the way the safeties fell. Mm-hmm. I didn't think the safeties would fall this way as far as the order in which they went in. So the fact that the one safety that I guess I want is still available, and when the music stops, I don't know if he's going to have a chair, and so I'm okay with that, you know, and I'm hopeful. And if that's the case, then
that gives this team a chance.
It gives them a chance. Now, whether they go that direction or not is a whole other thing. I know, talked to some folks that money was always going to be a consideration there. So if the money is the right thing for them, then maybe they can go that route and add a player for what they thought they were going to be able to pay him. So I see that as a real positive right now. That's the thing I'm really, really focusing on, because if you can get that done, then now it'll allow you to do the other things you want to try and do with the defensive end, but it also allows you to focus on the draft as well.
7, by my count, safeties have been signed.
Yeah.
Or agreed to, excuse me.
Yeah.
Right. Contracts.
Yeah.
None of which named Earl Thomas.
Why do you think that is?
That was going to be my next question.
I think age and injury probably has something to do with that. And the fact that his agent is the same one that just got the deal done in Washington. I think that he probably saw what was going on. You know, at the combine, we get there and everybody kind of has an idea of what the market might be. He went with Landon Collins first as a push, and now they're having to play catch up with Earl Thomas. So I think that he probably saw where this thing was going to go with the other teams. I think the team you still have to worry about is Atlanta. And Atlanta cleared some space. Again, I'm talking about if the Cowboys are interested in this guy. I think you have to worry about Atlanta. Atlanta has their former, Dan Quinn was with him at Seattle. He knows the player. They cleared some space. So we'll see. That might be the one team you have to dodge left. Other than that, you might have a clear run at this thing.
Man, 24 hours ago, it seemed like a different vibe, because when you saw what Collins got and then you saw what Tyrann Mathieu is going to get from Kansas City, it's like, Earl Thomas is going to get what he wants. He's going to get $15 million a year. And now
those guys are $14 million a year.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. He's not getting $14 million a year.
So I understand about the agent part,
Yeah.
but none of these other teams didn't sound like they made a run at him.
Now they're probably
Are they scared?
They're probably scared of injury history, and they're probably scared of age.
So should the Cowboys be scared?
Nah, not at all. Not at all. Shouldn't be scared of him at all.
Because
The guy is a veteran player. I think if you get him at the price you wanted to get him, that he could come in, he could help your team defensively, create turnovers. I think he could be a leader in the locker room. I think he could provide a lot of things. If I'm getting him for the money I want and not $15 million a year, sign me up. And if it's a 2-year deal, sign me up. I have no problem with that.
For a team that's trying to go all in to win a Super Bowl?
If you're telling me I have to do this deal for 5-6 years, he's not a $15 million a year player. Is he an $8 million a year player? 2 years, $20 million guaranteed. Is that what he is? Mickey, are you not agreeing to that?
I would, when you mentioned $8 million, I think I would look at that.
Okay. Yeah.
Because what would you offer Cole Beasley to come back? How many million per year would you pay him to come back at 30 years old? Yeah. So, to your point.
But he hasn't had 2 broken legs in 3 years.
He's been hurt, though, too.
Yeah, but he hadn't had 2 broken legs, the same leg broken.
Yeah, I'm just, to me, the leg, when you're talking about breaks, that's a different story. That happens in football. Breaks happen.
Yeah,
If you told me he had blown out his Achilles, they gave money to Barry Church after he blew out his Achilles. You know, what are we scared of here?
Let me just throw this out there.
They didn't give Barry Church $10 million a year.
Yeah, but I'm just saying though, they paid for a guy that they paid Sean Lee. Sean Lee's hurt more than anybody in the National Football League. Let's not act like that we don't have hurt players on this team.
I'm just surprised we haven't heard anything about him elsewhere, like San Francisco.
They're out. They're out.
Let me just throw this out there, and this I could be way off. I'm just throwing it out there. Do you think teams might just assume he wants to come here, and we're not going to let him drive up the price against us to try to raise Dallas's offer?
Dallas is not going to play in a bidding war.
Well, I know that.
They have a number in mind. If they can get their number, they need to go.
With Tayshaun Gibson signing with Houston, Houston's out.
Big play. Yeah, they're done. Okay. They're done. San Francisco, Atlanta's a team. If you're into the Earl Thomas market, Atlanta's a team you're going to have to deal with. Potentially,
I don't know. They're off the top of my head. Do they need a safety bad?
Yeah, they have a situation where, again, their coaching staff is big. You know, they see an opportunity to add a veteran player.
Right.
So Gibson supposedly has agreed to 3 years, $22 million with the Texans.
I don't know the numbers on Gibson.
I just saw that.
Okay. 3 years, 22. So it's just over $7 million.
So
total.
Can I get that?
Probably not.
And
then who's going to give him more?
Adrian
Amos.
Other than
Atlanta.
Adrian Amos with Green Bay signed 4 years, $37 million.
That was a big deal right there for him because he's a down safety as well.
Adrian Amos.
Yeah.
$9 million.
Who are you?
And
thank you.
Look at the first 2 years of his deal, though.
2 years, 21.
Yeah.
With his 3 interceptions.
Yeah.
Landon Collins is at 6 years, $84 million, $14 million a year. Tyrann Mathieu, 3 years, $42 million, $14 million a year. Eric Berry is at $13 million a year.
Honey Badger bet on himself and went well too.
Although I just saw where Collins the first 3 years is
$45 million,
$32 million.
32.
Yeah. So that's real.
So see what's happening now with these numbers is those are agent inflated numbers, and no one's talking about what the guarantees are. Normally,
sure, you can't look at the life of the contract because guy
there's
probably
no
won't see
way
it.
Landon Collins is going to make $84 million in 6 years.
Probably not,
and he'll get cut after 2.
Let's focus on our team here.
No, I'm just saying though, you got to be careful when you see this
applying
money.
to this. That's
free agency. These guys that are all getting signed are going to be gone in 2 years, 3 years. They're going to be the cap casualties in 2021. Get ready for that. That's generally what happens.
Right.
So, do you want to play that game?
Oh, I want to play the game of adding a safety. I'm not playing the game of adding players for $16 and $17 million unless their names are Lawrence and people like that.
I'm with Brian on this, Mick. I mean, if you're trying to take that next step this season and you can get a deal with him that's a couple years and go for it and get a guy that can help you back there, help your depth, help your takeaways,
leadership.
Now, what I will say is if you just look at the defense, the whole defense, to me, the biggest need right now is defensive line.
Yes. But why aren't we talking about that?
It's
why
a
are
shallow.
we talking about safety?
Because you named all those safety. It's a deep class. D-line is not deep in this free agent class.
If you listen to the draft show, Mickey, I can give you 100 names about defensive tackles and defensive ends. I'm going to focus on the defensive line in the draft is what I'm going to do.
So that guy's going to come in and be your starter at right defensive end?
Who?
The draft guy.
Well,
but this market, I think,
you're right. Your starter at right defensive end is Crawford. Am I wrong about that?
But you didn't want to improve that?
Well,
no, I think it was going to be Randy Gregory.
Right. That's an issue. And we don't know Tank's status with the tag and the surgery and all that, when he's going to be healthy back. That's an issue for me. But what I'm saying is the free agent market at that position, it's not a deep spot. So, yeah, you might have to look at the draft.
Somebody just signed Sheldon Richardson for like 3 years, $39 million.
Cleveland did.
Yeah. Ziggy Ansah's out there if you want to have a run at him. Very similar to, you talk about injury history and problems with him.
Right. Talk about injury history just in Houston.
Yeah. But you just committed $20 million to trying to sign Lawrence.
Exactly.
I'm drafting a defensive tackle or defensive end. I'm double dipping both. And I'll take a run at Earl Thomas here if it's my number.
And then, and because you don't have a first-round draft pick, you're getting those guys second, third round, fourth, whatever it might be. And then they work into a rotation.
I might get the polite kid from Florida that's a top 15 talent, but off the field stuff, questions about him might drive him to 58 if that's what you want to do. If you want to get a defensive end.
And maybe you get Gregory back.
Did they do that before with Randy Gregory?
Oh, sure they did.
And maybe you get him back for week 1, but you certainly can't count on that. So I wouldn't rule it out totally.
You might get him back week 1, but he's going to be there week 8.
How about Taco playing better? That would help.
Yeah, but you want to bet on that?
You know what, Mickey? I have really no choice right now.
And then you got Dorrance Armstrong as well as a defensive end candidate. So.
I have a better chance of helping my team in the draft at that defensive line spot than I do potentially at safety. And depending, there's a couple of names there.
All right, Brian, you mentioned something relating if they were able to secure an Earl Thomas and how that would affect the DeMarcus Lawrence situation. What I think that you alluded to that.
I didn't know.
Oh, okay.
Not really.
Okay.
Yeah, I didn't know.
How would it affect who plays and who's a backup?
Put Jeff Heath. You play. You can interchange the two guys as far as Woods and I'm playing Woods. I'm sorry, Heath. I'm putting you back on special teams where you're doing me the most good.
So you're playing Woods at strong?
I'm playing Woods. I'm interchanging. If I have to play one down, I play one down. If I have to play one back, I play one back. I think they're interchangeable pieces there.
All right. Let's explore this Earl Thomas and how it works from a payroll standpoint on the defense, and with Byron Jones coming open next year, you got to sign him if you're going to keep him long term. So would signing an Earl Thomas affect what you do with Byron Jones going forward?
Don't think so. I think they have the money to sign all these guys.
Okay.
I do. That's what I've been told. Mickey, has anybody told you different?
I think what Bill was referring to is next year.
Yeah,
I'm just talking about next year. I'm talking next year too.
Sure.
I'm talking about next year.
Because there's a ramification, because they're not going to have as much money available next year as they have available at $24 million this year.
Well, then that's why they need to sign the quarterback now, and and the wide receiver now.
But it still counts next year. You can't.
Sure.
It's not just this year.
No, I understand that.
There's a projection.
I understand that.
Well, that receiver market just got interesting, by the way. Ironically, with the new guy that Oakland has and what they just paid him. So how does that affect what you got to pay Amari Cooper coming up?
Well, Cooper's going to get $17 million a year.
You try to give 16 to a bad player. What are you going to give him? You know what I'm saying? Yeah, you know where you're at right now. You tried to give $16 million to Sammy Watkins. Come on, really?
Actually, it's probably going to get closer to $20 million a year.
Yeah,
it's all
going
going
about
up.
It.
It's all going up. You're right.
Yeah,
because he can get 14 this year, so he's not going to settle for anything less than that.
That's a good point. Yep.
And the franchise tag next year would go up to about 16 or 17. So And what all
kind of
these
the
other
going rate,
numbers
right?
are out there.
Yeah.
So take $20 million. I understand how things are structured, and you can get it at a lower spot.
You can give him a huge signing bonus and keep his number low.
Right, and that's what you have to.
That's what they're going to do. They're going to do that. Get ready. All those guys are going to get Dak, Zeke,
DeMarcus
Lawrence. They're all going to get huge signing bonuses, and then the numbers. The one thing this owner has is deep pockets when it comes to signing bonuses. I know it counts for stuff and things like that, but he's got other businesses. Where some of these guys don't.
He's going to go from being worth $5 billion to $4 billion.
No, there's a reason why he's a billionaire, because he can create money.
And now inside linebackers are getting $17 million a year. C.J. Mosley just got 5 years, $85 million, $17 million a year is the average.
Yeah,
and so
you can worry about Jaylon Smith.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Is a couple of years from now, then Jaylon Smith has entered that market.
He's restricted next year. Yeah, you kick that can down the road.
You talk about Byron Jones. Cornerback is a sneaky need for this team. Mm-hmm. If you look at 2020 and what they've got, with Anthony Brown, I think also too with Lewis, Awuzie.
I don't think they're up, but Anthony Brown is up. Byron's up. Kayvon in the secondary. Kayvon Frazier's up.
Okay, that's not going to bother me much.
Heath's up.
Okay, it's not bothering me much.
But you got that's
the
fourth of your secondary.
Left. Lewis has 2 years
but
left.
I mean, that's what I'm saying. It's kind of a sneaky need down the road if you look at it.
And Detroit just agreed with a nickelback, Justin Coleman, 4 years, $36 million.
Mm-hmm.
A nickelback.
Must be pretty
Patriot
good.
connection.
Yeah.
Mickey's not down with all this money flying around.
This is like paying a second baseman who hit 225, $10 million a year.
It's free agency.
It's become baseball.
I don't think anybody is. Maybe the fans are. I applaud what they're doing. I would rather draft and sign my own than be bad like we were back in the day and sign guys that suck.
Typically,
I would feel much better about signing Zach Martins and Travis Fredericks and DeMarcus Lawrences and those kind of guys than I would the crap that we did back in the early 2000s.
Well, and typically the teams that are doing this, they're doing it because they're trying to fill a need they couldn't fill through the draft. That's why you're overpaying and you've got salary cap space because you're not re-signing your own. So there's a reason for it.
Yeah.
And I do think if there's a way, there is a team that can improve largely from within. I wrote about this today on our mailbag. It's this team because you've got like a dozen or so starters from last season. They're 25 years old.
Can all prove absolutely.
I mean, and a lot of that's coaching.
Yeah.
You got to help them get to the next step. But it's a young team. It's not like it's a veteran team that's kind of topped out what they can be. So that's got to be part of the hope.
Mickey's the anti-fan. He wants to just draft and sign, which I don't disagree with. Fan wants to sign everybody. Fan wants to pay nickel cornerback $35 million a year.
I kind of see the fans view guys because they say, all right, this team got to the
They're not going to get any better?
They got to the second round with the guys they have.
Yeah.
This isn't new. These guys aren't new. DeMarcus Lawrence, hell of a player. He's not new. What else can we do?
Let's go sign somebody that the other team didn't want.
Mickey's going to hate me for saying this, but it might come down on the coach. If you feel like your roster is really good, this might come down on the coach.
Well,
and maybe that's the decision that they made.
Yeah.
And that's, okay, let's see if the coach can pull this thing together.
Sign a defensive end for $80 million, and then 2 years later, I got to trade him because I can't deal with that on my cap.
Yeah.
Olivier Vernon.
Yeah.
Everybody wanted Olivier Vernon. Now
it's because you don't have a defensive end, yeah.
We can trade him because we can't take that cap charge.
They hate Crawford, too.
Denver signs Keenum to 2 years, $36 million. 2 years, $36 million, and then we got to trade him.
Well, how about Pittsburgh taking a $21 million hit on Antonio Brown?
That's unbelievable. Mm-hmm. That's just not the way they do things usually.
No,
it's crazy.
They got caught. That's just how bad of a situation it was in Pittsburgh. And you're really fortunate in this locker room here at the Star. You don't have that problem.
Mm-hmm.
That you have guys that are just going to stand. And now maybe this defensive end will be a problem if it doesn't get done the right way. Maybe he's going to say, you know what, I gave you everything I had there for all these years. Where's the again, he's looking at a situation where, and maybe we need to research this a little bit more. Maybe the Cowboys are thinking about him as a defensive end when these other high-priced guys are getting paid like outside linebackers. Look at Khalil Mack. Look at Von Miller. Look at those guys. What position they play? Play linebackers.
They just restructured his contract too, by the way.
Well, they flipped that mechanism they do with all these contracts. Give me $10 million here. Give me $11 million here. One of those things.
And I put those in this. I put DeMarcus Lawrence, a defensive end, a rush defensive end, in the same boat as a rush outside linebacker.
Would you?
3-4 defense.
You would?
Myself, I do.
Okay.
Yeah.
Maybe the Cowboys.
I put them under. Those are edge rushers.
Yeah. Maybe the Cowboys don't. Maybe the Cowboys don't feel like that.
Right.
That he's the same level as Khalil Mack because they play a different position.
Right. And I would not pay him what Khalil Mack's getting. Myself.
Whoa! You just said that you think he's the same player.
I didn't say they're the same player. They're the same category of player.
Okay.
I'm not saying DeMarcus Lawrence is Khalil Mack. I wouldn't pay Khalil Mack that kind of money myself.
It's kind of the day and age we live in, though, boys.
Right.
It's not
agent collusion.
Yeah. Let's not. This is what you just pray to God that you take your cap and do it the right way.
And we talked about it last week. Now, Danielle Hunter. What did he get? He's $72 million over 4 years, or was it 5 years? 5 years. 5 years, $72 million. I mean, that's a club-friendly contract right there, and I'm sure the Players Association went nuts when he signed that. But there's a lot of them that are signing right now.
Tyron Smith back in the day.
Right.
Yeah,
that's right. There's a lot of them now. Those edge rushers are signing for $14 million a year, who probably. The only reason they're getting it is because it's this the time that we're in right now, where they're happen to be in an edge rusher class that there's not a lot of candidates there, and that's where DeMarcus Lawrence is right now, where he's the top guy in this edge rusher class, and that's the quandary that the Cowboys and DeMarcus Lawrence are in right now, because he's the top guy, unquestionably, right? And so how much do you pay him?
And that's what his agent's thinking right now, because he's not going to be
Khalil Mack up here.
He will not be the first one to be signed of the 5 franchise rushers. I'll guarantee you that.
A couple of those cats might get traded.
Think so?
Yeah.
But they still got to get signed, right?
Well, sign the tender.
Something.
Yeah, they can trade him, though.
They can trade him.
They can negotiate with another team.
And he can sign the tender.
Yeah.
But again.
That's how the Mack trade happened.
Yeah.
But if you're the Cowboys, right? Can you afford to let this drag into mid-July?
Well, does his guy want to sign? And what would you give up to just say, okay, fine, $23 million a year? Because that guy is not going to be the first one to sign his edge rusher. I guarantee you that.
You don't think he wants his money? You don't think he wants to get this done?
Unless he tells the guy, that guy doesn't want to get beat on a contract.
I get that, but
Trey Flowers got $17 million a year, 5 years, $85.
Mm-hmm.
So out of this class, I believe that's the highest price of the edge rushers right there, $17 million. So that's the low.
You've already tendered this guy 20,
and you're already tendered him 20.
Yeah, so that's where you better start.
It starts right at 5 years, $100 million.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Now he might again the guaranteed money. That's a whole other thing right there. It depends on, like I said. I think there's some validity to what I was talking about. I mean, what position does he play? Is he a true? Him and Hunter to me are similar guys.
Right.
The way they play.
Mm-hmm.
The way they play. Both play the run. Both rush the passer. Both get sacks. That's what
And they got very similar numbers in their careers.
You're going to have to guarantee 3/4 of the total to get him to say, okay, I won't take as much, but if you give me 3/4 of it, that's $75 million on a $100 million contract.
Yeah.
All right, we will take your phone calls here. I'm sure there are a lot of people who would like to sound off, and I got a question about what does it do to locker room chemistry if you don't pay one of your leaders on your team? When we come back here on Talkin Cowboys.
Kaboo, Texas is 3 days, 6 stages, over 100 artists, including The Killers, Lionel Richie, Lynyrd Skynyrd, Ms. Lauryn Hill, Kid Rock, Alanis Morissette, Little Big Town, The 8 Brothers, Counting Crows, Pitbull, Sting, The Black Eyed Peas, and the list goes on. Don't miss Kaboo, Texas. Single day and 3 day passes are on sale now. Visit KAABOOTexas.com. Talkincowboys.com to get your passes today.
Essilor has been helping Cowboys fans see better since 1972 so they don't miss a moment on the field. Get glasses with Essilor's best vision, clarity, and protection with the Essilor Ultimate Lens Package. 3 innovative technologies in one lens. For a limited time, you can double your lenses for free when you purchase the Essilor Ultimate Lens Package and get a second pair of frames. Find a participating eye care professional and details by visiting EssilorUSA.com. That's EssilorUSA.com. Terms and conditions apply.
Do you want the most interesting, up-to-the-minute Dallas Cowboys news straight from the Star in Frisco? How about exclusive and on command? That's right, news and nuggets you can't find anywhere else. With our exclusive Cowboys content on Alexa, you can have all the answers, secrets, stories, and more. What's Stephen Jones thinking during a game? What's Joe Looney's favorite pregame meal? We take your questions to Cowboys players and coaches, and you can hear the answers directly back to you. Just say, Alexa, open Dallas Cowboys.
If you're like me and you love... if you have a thing, then cutting the cord is scary. But then I found out I could switch to DirecTV Now and still get the live sports I love. No satellite needed, no bulky hardware, no annual contract, just...
Get the live sports you love. Try DirecTV Now for $10 a month for 3 months. Visit DirecTVNow.com. DirecTV Now. More for your thing. That's our thing. Use code REALDEAL. Limited time. Price for little package. After 3 months, renews monthly at full price. Currently minimum $40 unless canceled. Prices may change. New subscribers only. Cancel anytime. Content varies by package and may be limited. Restrictions apply.
A man's Stetson doesn't just protect him from life's elements. It projects an unstoppable and legendary spirit, just like the men wearing silver and navy on the field every Sunday. Since 1865, Stetson hats are American-made with pride right here in Texas. They are still the official crown of all self-respecting cowboys. And Stetson is proud to be on the field with America's team. Find Stetson hats in the Pro Shop or at Stetson.com today.
Dr. Pepper is the one you crave. But how do you explain that craving?
Imagine being shipwrecked on a desert island, alone. Glass-like curls of surf pound the shore with Dr. Pepper-colored waves. Surrounded by desire, but you can't drink it because it's the ocean. Fish live in there. The only thing you want is Dr. Pepper, and you can't have it.
Now that is a Dr. Pepper craving. Dr. Pepper, the one you crave.
Back to Talkin' Cowboys.
Tommy John time. Adjust your cleats, adjust your pads, even adjust your helmet, but seriously, don't adjust your underwear because once it's been seen, it cannot be unseen. Tommy John has a contour pouch to nestle the boys and moisture-wicking fabric to keep you cool and dry on the field or in the stands. Tommy John, no adjustment needed. Shop exclusive Cowboys underwear at TommyJohn.com/Cowboys for 20% off your first order.
All right, very good. We just had a tour come through. They look like, how old do they look like they are, Mickey?
Future broadcasters.
Future broadcasters that came by. Maybe they would be interested in the Dallas Cowboys Youth Academies.
Oh, what a segue.
To the development of young athletes and dancers of all skill levels through customized curriculum, personalized coaching, interactive experiences with current Dallas Cowboys players and the Dallas Cowboys cheerleaders. Registration open now for spring and summer youth camps at the Star and AT&T Stadium. Save $25 with early bird pricing when you register by May 1st. Register today at DallasCowboys.com/academy.
Is that what Danny McCray's doing now? He's taking care of those camps?
Camps manager.
Camps manager.
We need to have him on one day.
He gave me his new business card and signed it for me.
He signed
It's
it.
hanging up in my cube right now. Love Danny.
Do you realize, I didn't realize this, I was talking to him the other day. I said, so when you finished playing, what did you do? And he said, I went back to school. I go, you went back to school?
Yeah.
He went to University of Indiana to get his MBA.
Yeah. Really?
Very
It's
cool.
like,
Good for him.
seriously? 5 or 6 years, 7, I don't know how many he played. After you finished college, could you have gone back to school?
Oh, a lot of those guys do. Like the league has a deal now too, where you can be part of that. If you want to go back and finish your degree, the league will help you pay for it. They'll pay for you to go back and finish your degree.
Man, that takes discipline because isn't there a point in your life you're like, I can't see myself studying again?
Well, and then what's Jaylon Smith doing right now? I mean, he went back to Notre Dame, didn't he, this spring semester?
Yep.
And
finish up.
That's one thing with football. You can do it because you got you're playing in the fall and you got the spring semester.
Yeah.
He said Brian Wansley helped him out greatly.
Yeah. absolutely.
So, yeah, we need to have him on maybe when we get to a kind of a slower period.
Yeah, he's got a lot of camps coming up, too.
Yeah.
All right, very good. We will do that. Let's go to Becky in Magnolia, Texas. First up here on Talking Cowboys. Hello, Becky.
Hello, Mr. Jones. Hello, all y'all guys.
Hello.
Hello.
I've been listening to y'all for years.
Thank you.
And I appreciate all the hard work you do.
Appreciate that.
But as far as DeMarcus Lawrence goes, I love him. He's a great player. But he also disappointed with some suspensions. He has to remember that. And I listened to Brian the other day talking about trades.
Okay.
If he wants to hold this team for ransom, which is apparently what they're doing, why not trade him, get something for him? I know it won't be an immediate help for whoever we bring in, but at least we won't be hamstringing ourselves with that salary cap hell we were in for so long.
Becky, can I ask you a question?
Yes, sir, Rob.
That's Brian, but that's okay.
Brian, I'm sorry.
No problem. No problem. Do you feel like, though, that Lawrence deserves the contract that he's seeking, though? From all, I mean, I know you mentioned about the suspensions and stuff like that, but as a fan, do you feel like he deserves that the front office should address that?
If he's reasonable, yes.
Okay. All right.
$20 million is a lot of money.
Sure.
Their idea of not much is beyond my scope of thinking.
Sure.
But it's a game.
Right.
And they're being played to play a game.
Sure.
And it's entertainment. I understand that. That's the going rate. But, I mean, and I understand he played hurt the last 2 years, and he played hard, and
Yes,
he
ma'am.
played well.
Yes, ma'am.
And I want to reward people for doing things like that. And he's become such a fine young leader.
Sure.
And I'm proud of him for that.
Right.
But you can't hold up the whole team. It is a team sport.
Right. Well, thank you.
Yeah. No, absolutely. That's a good view of it because most people are just saying, okay, pay him. Let's get it done.
Just keep thinking about Anthony Spencer back in the day, 2 years in a row.
Yeah.
What did that turn out to be? Was that over $21 million for 2 years?
Yeah.
And he only played one of the years?
Well,
am I right about that? Was it like 11 million kind of a thing?
The second year he got hurt.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. They franchised him both years.
okay.
Yeah.
He never got to a long-term deal. 'Cause
Never
he got
did.
hurt.
Never did.
And he was another guy who those last couple of years, if you went back and looked at the coach's film on that, he played so hard too.
Yeah.
Anthony Spencer did.
Yeah.
Just like DeMarcus Lawrence has the last couple of years.
Cowboys have to do what's best for them business-wise. But this does concern me. It just does because I'm picturing the Dez situation in 2015 where Dez didn't need surgery that offseason, but it dragged into the summer. It affected his conditioning and his training camp, and he got hurt. And that was a team that was trying to go all in and win the Super Bowl that year. And so it's a fine line they're having to walk with this situation because they need him. There's no question they need him. And the caller, Becky, mentioned it. Was it Becky?
Yeah.
Yeah. $20 million, that is the going rate. I mean, that's what you're gonna pay him guaranteed for one season if you don't get a deal done. $20 million. So
you feel better about him than you do a lot of other people, though, don't you?
In regards to
paying him $20 million.
Oh, yeah.
And you feel like if you paid him long term, he might be a guy that actually earns the contract. You know?
Yeah,
as opposed
he'll
to being
do what he can
as
to earn it,
opposed to being a cap casualty in 2021.
There are things out of your control, like injuries and stuff.
Sure,
but,
absolutely. Absolutely.
And he had one suspension, right?
Yes.
Yeah, 2015?
She mentioned suspensions, and it was 1 4-game suspension in 2016.
And if you ask people around the team after that, he dedicated himself to being a better leader on the team. He took full ownership of that.
Yeah. All right, talking about locker room chemistry. What does it do to a locker room when you, in a case like this, like a DeMarcus Lawrence, who's got respect from members of the locker room, and you don't take care of him and you sign somebody else instead from outside? What do you think that does to teammates in the locker room when that happens? Or is that a concern?
You're asking us to play Dr. Phil.
It's only a concern if it involves you. But I think in the back of guys' minds, they're sitting there going, "So what about me when that comes up? Am I doing all this and then I got to go somewhere else?"
Yeah, I think that first and foremost, I think these guys understand it's a business.
Mm-hmm.
They really, Becky was talking about it's entertainment and all, and when she was saying, I was thinking about, I wonder about these actors that get $25 million, $30 million a movie. Far less stressful, but they get that, they're in a part of entertainment. But to me, I think the locker room, it depends a lot on the type of players you have,
the makeup.
But
I
just think overall, coaches, players, they realize that tomorrow is not guaranteed, especially in this day and age with the way that the salary cap and stuff like that is. It's just one bad year and then boom, you're on the street. So I applaud them for making as much money as they can, but I also feel like though that they also know they have jobs to do that, like Mickey said, it affects you. Well, that's the way it goes, but that's a tough thing to have to roll with. I don't think you'll see anybody step up and say, now, you could say, well, if they cut me or cut somebody else, like cut Dez Bryant, then you're saying, wow, well, if they're going to cut Dez Bryant, what are they going to do to me? So that maybe can elevate your awareness a little bit.
Yeah. Well, I mean, and there are guys on this team they've made clear they want to keep, so there is that. I mean, we know that. Dak, Amari, kind of go down the list. So they want to bring that security to a lot of these top guys. Just this Lawrence one just has got me not confused, but I thought this deal would be done by now. I really did.
Can I ask you something?
Yeah.
So what we did on the draft show, just as an exercise, not saying that we were just talking about it. If it came to that by the time of the draft, would you be willing to move on from him that way if you can, in fact, secure a deal?
If you can secure a deal?
If you can secure a deal for him. Would you
a trade, not a deal,
yes,
an extension?
Not
for him.
an extension. You feel like this thing is going to go long. Again, this is an exercise we're talking about. We're just talking here. We're not trying to immediately say, "Oh, Talkin Cowboys is trying to get rid of."
For the aggregators out there.
Yeah, but I mean, just for that, you seem the most worried about this.
Yeah, because I want to keep him. I really do, because I think their pass rush starts and ends with him. I mean, especially with what's going on with Gregory.
How about just the defensive line play in general?
Yeah, just what he does for those guys. Yeah. No, I mean, I want to try to get something done, but I'm also trying to project this labrum surgery, how many months it's going to take him to get ready to play football. And I want him at training camp. So I'm holding out hope that they can get something done in the next couple months.
But you're surprised they haven't got something done.
I thought that it might get done by the March 5th franchise tag deadline, and it didn't get done. And, they made an offer that combine week, and they talked a couple times, and it just didn't get there for whatever reason, Mick.
I told you the reason.
The agent didn't want to do the deal. He didn't want to be first in.
He's not going to be.
I hadn't thought about that, honestly. I really hadn't, because DeMarcus wants to get paid.
Well, so did Dez Bryant, but when did that deal get done?
Same time
Demarcus Thomas's deal got done. Mm-hmm. Same exact deal. They got done within 24 hours of each other.
Bill, you trade? If you feel like you can't get there?
I got to figure out how am I replacing him? How am I replacing the production?
That's my issue.
And that's the biggest issue I have. I don't have a problem if you see an impasse here.
Yeah.
As long as your team is just as good, if not hopefully better.
Your team's probably not going to be better getting rid of him.
Well,
if you say you can add 2 picks, say you can add a first and a second.
That first better be in the top 10.
Well, it's probably not going to be. Probably not going to be.
Because think about this. They were average when it came to sacks this year. With him.
Yeah.
Right? They were average.
Right.
And the guy ranked second with 6, Gregory, is suspended indefinitely right now.
Well, the highest value
So you basically almost have taken, if he's not there, and assuming Gregory, I don't know, but that's almost half of your sacks with those 2 guys.
It's a concern.
The best deal you're going to cut on something like that is going to be after the draft, next year's picks, because those draft picks, as you get closer to the draft, those draft picks are more valuable.
Yep.
And then that would go against
and
everything they're talking about doing. Next step.
And that's why Khalil Mack, they got as much as they did. One of the reasons they got as much as they did for Khalil Mack was because of the timing of when that trade took place. They would not have got that if it was a draft day trade.
Or you could take a third and a fifth.
Mm-hmm. Well, there you go. There's a third and a fifth for Antonio Brown.
Unbelievable.
Well, that's just a team wanting to move on.
Right.
Yeah, right. I understand.
That's trade him to a team that probably can't hurt you.
But you're kind of in that boat. If you reach a contract impasse with DeMarcus Lawrence, the team basically is wanting to move on and trying to get as much as they can for him. At that point.
How did the Patriots get away with it every year? Is it because of Tom Brady and the head coach?
That's the feedback I get on Twitter whenever
I'm just asking.
I bring that up.
I'm just asking
because they did it with Chandler Jones.
No, exactly. They move on. And I'm surprised that more teams don't look at that and say, you know what, we're not going to pay this guy. But we're just not just him, but any type of player that they have like that.
And
it's a fascinating way to operate, but I guess
the immediate reaction is, they got Belichick and Brady. We don't have Belichick and Brady, so
yeah.
But that may be one of the reasons Belichick and Brady are so successful is because they're able to. All right, instead of having Chandler Jones for the last 3 years, they were able to sign. I listed it last week.
Oh, no, there's no question.
10 guys, that they have been signed over the last 3 years who have contributed, they weren't signing during the legal tampering period. It was a week or two into free agency.
So should you be turning your players into more players? Should that
That's a great question.
Moneyball?
Well, I mean, I'm not advocating that. I'm just saying, should you take if you're drafting players like the Cowboys are, instead of re-signing them, trading them into more commodities, is that a better way to operate? Unless you have a Breeze, a Brady, a Rodgers, or somebody like that. I mean, taking DeMarcus Lawrence and turning him into 3 players in the top 59, does that help your team more? I mean, I'm just throwing it out there.
To Bill's point, I don't know if it helps you initially, right off the bat,
right?
And so to me, that goes against this next step philosophy. They're trying to get to the Super Bowl.
But the fan will tell you by not signing anybody in free agency, they're not getting any better. I'm with you though.
But what the Patriots do is they take. Instead of spending that money on a Chandler Jones, they're spending it. They signed a restricted free agent Chris Hogan. That year I can't remember the other names that they've signed. They traded for Kyle Van Noy. They picked up veteran guys who they knew would fit their scheme and fit their locker room and so forth. And that's why they study the draft. And every team does this or needs to do this. You study the draft not for just that draft, but for when those players might come available 4 years from now or less than that.
Yeah, and all due respect to the Patriots, they draft well, but they draft well in part because they get so many picks. They don't hit on all their picks.
They miss if you look at their pick, they really don't draft well. They don't draft well. Imagine if you're the Cowboys and you do draft well and you keep turning your players into commodities, just keep going on and on and on.
It's that secondary market on free agency is where they hit their jackpot there. Or fill their needs, and it actually doesn't take away from their immediate team. Okay, they're drafting. I mean, they're getting those players for now. And what they can do. They
have just lost. They have the 2 highest paid offensive linemen in the last 2 free agency periods have been at New England.
It's amazing.
Both of them.
That's why.
And the one guy certainly wasn't worth the money.
Which one, Brown or Solder?
Solder.
And Trent Brown either. It goes to, they got a great offensive line coach, Skornecchia.
Yeah.
And then it's that quarterback getting rid of the football so quickly. And and it got Trent Brown 4 years, $66 million or whatever it was.
Where did Solder go? The Giants?
Giants.
Yeah. He was terrible.
Yeah.
It's hard to use them as a model because they're not human.
And that is where those who cry out, they've got Brady, that's where
maybe they're just better. Right. Maybe they're just better than everybody in the National Football League, the way they think. The patience that they play with. I mean, they're not interested in signing. I mean, you talk about having a plan.
So you can't play. You can't. What you can't start doing is paying good players like they're generational players. And that's what they do. They have good players, but they don't pay them.
Is DeMarcus Lawrence a generational player?
There you go. You just opened that up.
And that's where I was going. So for this team,
Ken says yes.
Probably so, yes. Because they've been trying to find that guy since Ware got injured.
The War
had
Daddy.
to play that seat. So it's been almost 8-9 years without having that guy.
Your quarterback?
What do you mean?
Opened up
paying
the
him?
can of worms.
Well, I don't know that you got to pay him like he's worth $25 million a year.
Going rate.
I know it's the going rate.
I'm just saying.
But did you earn it?
What about the Nick Foles contract?
Ridiculous.
I didn't see it. How much is
88?
it?
4 years, $88 million with a chance to get it up to $102 million.
Going rate. Super Bowl MVP.
That's $22 million, $22 to $25 million a year.
Yeah, Jacksonville went from in an AFC Championship game to
4-12 or whatever.
Yeah, having a bad year. Now you got a coach that's kind of in trouble there.
Mm-hmm.
So
for a guy that has not played and been productive for an entire season.
This has got some Matt Castle written on it a little bit. But this guy's won a Super Bowl. I shouldn't say that.
But
I
he
shouldn't say that. I shouldn't say that.
But he has been great in that system with that coach.
Yeah.
He's got to go outside.
But everything outside the system, he hasn't been great.
Right.
He got lucky.
He tried to quit.
Played good against the Patriots.
I think he got lucky, Mickey, but he found the right situation.
Yeah, he won a playoff game. What was it, 15-14?
All right,
Atlanta. By the way,
the guy that won the Super Bowl.
I know. You're right, Ken. Can't do that.
By the way, don't believe everything. Don't believe everything that happens in this, or that gets reported in this legal tampering period. Anthony Barr was a New York Jet.
Yeah,
he's now still a Minnesota Viking.
Oh, what happened?
Decided to agree to terms to remain with the Vikings. Sources say
good for Zimmer.
Breaking news. And
good for
what's
his
going to
agent.
happen with Cole Beasley? We discuss that when Talking Cowboys continues in a moment.
If you're like me and you love... if you have a thing, then cutting the cord is scary. But then I found out I could switch to DirecTV Now and still get the live sports I love. No satellite needed, no bulky hardware, no annual contract, just...
Get the live sports you love. Try DirecTV Now for $10 a month for 3 months. Visit DirecTVNow.com. DirecTV Now. More for your thing. That's our thing. Use code REALDEAL. Limited time. Price for a little package. After 3 months, renews monthly at full price. Currently minimum $40 unless canceled. Prices may change. New subscribers only. Cancel anytime. Content varies by package and may be limited. Restrictions apply.
It's time for Tailgating with the OtterBox boys.
The OtterBox that builds those crazy protective phone cases?
Yup, and now they're changing the side dish game with the OtterBox Trooper Soft Cooler. Lightweight, mobile, and leak-proof, Trooper is perfect for blitzing a crowded parking lot with a Frito pie.
Amazing. Hey, you think I could fit my 7-layer salmon salad into the Trooper cooler?
Yup, but please don't.
And that's been Tailgating with the OtterBox boys. Learn more about the Trooper soft coolers at otterbox.com.
While a player could look good on paper, it's when he's out on the field that you really find out what he's made of. That's why the Cowboys rely on more than just stats and scouting reports when building their team. When picking a tractor, it's why you should rely on more than just specs and features. You've got to take it out and put it to the test. The Cowboys did when they named John Deere their official tractor. Experience one for yourself. Visit myjohndeeredealer.com/football.
It can be hard to find the right resource for learning about important financial matters. You search how to build savings, you end up reading about the one weird ingredient from supermarkets that can make you taller. That's why Bank of America built BetterMoneyHabits.com, a safe little corner of the internet for answering your financial questions. Full of simple videos and tips, Better Money Habits can show you how to make the most of your money without resorting to random searches that always seem to lead to unbelievable photos of childhood stars grown up. To learn more, visit BetterMoneyHabits.com.
Essilor has been helping Cowboys fans see better since 1972 so they don't miss a moment on the field. Get glasses with Essilor's best vision, clarity, and protection with the Essilor Ultimate Lens Package. 3 innovative technologies in one lens. For a limited time, you can double your lenses for free when you purchase the Essilor Ultimate Lens Package and get a second pair of frames. Find a participating eye care professional and details by visiting EssilorUSA.com. That's EssilorUSA.com. Terms and conditions apply.
Back to Talkin' Cowboys.
When we talk Cowboys, we talk Jack Black. And check this out. If you want to upgrade your shave, a great shave is all about great skin care. free pain-free shave set with your $65 purchase, and that comes with free shipping. And that set includes face buff energizing scrub, beard lube, conditioning shave, and double-duty face moisturizer. That comes with SPF 20. Each of those is a half ounce, and each, if you use the code SHAVE, you get that deal now on getjackblack.com.
All right.
Jake Benoit chimes in on Tom Brady. Never mind the discount Tom Brady gives that New England franchise from a contract standpoint.
About $10 million worth of discount, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's a good point.
Don Yee, my buddy.
What discount? I just saw his thing just
He's
skyrocketed.
going to sign a new one, I think. I think he's got another extension.
There's no discount.
Well, there has been in the past.
Well, yeah, because he got his money up
It
front.
still I believe he still counts like $27 million against the cap, even though his pay is.
Oh, we don't have to guess, Bill. Let me look it up.
Yeah, I think I looked it up last week, and it was around.
There's no
that.
discount.
That's the thing about even guys of his caliber, but Rodgers. It's like it's a little bit of a burden, man, to have to work around that number. And you better draft well, because if you don't, you're not fielding the right guys around him.
His base salary was $14 million. He was prorated $12 million. He's got a $1 million roster bonus. His cap number is $27 million.
There you go.
There
is what it is.
Discount.
Yeah.
Family Dollar store. You know?
You want to guess who the second highest paid player is on the Patriots?
Well, Gilmore has.
That's right. Stephon Gilmore.
Yeah.
$14 million cap hit on him. Their salaries are amazing for their guys. They're all like 7, 8.
Now they did. What is McCourty? Devin McCourty.
Devin McCourty is at 13-4.
Safety.
13-4.
So there's a safety that they pay 13-4 to.
Yeah, absolutely.
What's Hightower?
Hightower, Bill, you know this team pretty well. Hightower's at 10-9.
Yeah.
What's Burkhead got?
Yeah.
He's going into the last year of his deal. And
Bill, that's a family friend for Bill.
That's right. We had him on our show the other night. He's got a great, by the way, for you who live locally here, he has a great, it's the Team Jack Trifecta coming up on April 6th in Plano. It is a 5K and a youth camp and a 3-on-3 basketball tournament, and it benefits pediatric brain cancer research. You recall a friend of his from his days at Nebraska, they won an ESPY for the story of the kid, Jack Hoffman, at the time he was 7 years old, and in the spring game at Nebraska, he ran for a touchdown, and it's just a heartwarming story. And he's now 13, 14 years old, Jack is, and he was at the AFC Championship game. He was also at the Super Bowl. But anyway, that event's coming up April 6th. Let's go to Rob in Las Vegas. You're next up on Talking Cowboys. Rob.
Hey, out of the big four, I call them, Dak, Zeke, Lawrence, and Cooper, I think Lawrence is the most unproven. I mean, Cooper's first 2 years with the Raiders was really good. And last year, if we get him, we don't get to the playoffs. Zeke is a two-time rushing champ. If he didn't get suspended, he'd probably be 3 for 3. And Dak, say what you want, he does play the hardest position in sports, and he wins. So when I look at these guys, I agree. The salaries.
We lost you, and we got some breaking news here.
From Ian Rappaport?
Yes, Cole Beasley. Buffalo Bills, $7.25 million a year for 4 years.
There it is.
Yeah, the Cowboys and that whole thing, they were unwilling to. They
agreed to?
Yeah.
Agrees. Yes.
The Cowboys were unwilling to go over $6 million, I was told there. They kind of kept their number, and all Beasley wanted was guaranteed money. So that
would be 4 years, $29 million for Cole Beasley to the Buffalo Bills, and they just signed John Brown as well, 3 years, $27 million.
Yep.
So there you go.
And actually, you'll get to
play third banana.
You get to play him next year, then, right?
Yeah,
Cole Beasley gets to come back here and play.
Right.
Yeah.
Yep.
He wanted to get whatever he could get, and he got it.
Yeah, Cowboys just didn't want to go over $6 million a year. That's what you get.
Do the math on that contract, then.
The Cole Beasley?
Yeah.
What kind of math would you like on it? It's $7.25 a year.
Moving to Buffalo.
Okay. All right.
Paying state income tax.
I've never heard anybody, we talk about state income tax. I've never heard a player or an agent talk about that.
Well, because they don't.
No, I'm just saying though. I'm just saying that people talk about it as a negotiating tool. I think there are 4 states in this country that don't pay state income tax.
Florida being one of them.
Yeah, and so I never hear an agent talk about that.
He can Florida, Texas,
because where does
Washington,
the agent live?
D.C. Yeah,
where does the agent live?
Well, that's what I'm saying though. I mean, you never hear about that. I mean, to me it would make sense, but to some players,
the other thing too, Mick, besides
it never was
money,
going to work out with him.
Well,
here.
he wanted to be used, utilized more.
Now he just went where John Brown went.
Well, I'm just saying we don't know what their plans are.
Well, he just doubled his pay.
He doubled his pay.
Go secure the bag, Cole.
His contract was for here. It was 4 years, $13.6 million, and he just signed for 4 years, $29 million. He more than doubled his pay.
Yeah. He had a $4 million signing bonus, and he was guaranteed $7.3 on that contract.
Yeah, good for him.
Over 4 years. How many years do you say it was? 3.
This contract is being reported as 4 years, 29.5. That's all the details we have on it right now. Cole Beasley, the Buffalo Bills. Josh Allen, the quarterback.
Yeah, the guy came in from SMU, undrafted, all those things. You got good years out of him.
He's 30 years old. He wants to get paid.
That's the thing. Now you just move on. You go and find.
So
you
what
go
are
find
the
a guy.
Cowboys doing?
Yeah, you go find a guy. You go draft a guy. You got a good pro department. They found the human log for you. You trust what they can do. Maybe you got some guys on current on the roster that could do that.
What kind of money Randall Cobb's going to get?
And that's a good question there. That is a good question. If you did like a 1-year deal with him, something like that, I would.
Kind of like what Oakland did with Jordy Nelson.
Sure.
I can't
so
remember
at
what
this
his contract
point,
was.
the projection would be Hearns in the slot?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
You could play Cooper in the slot too, though.
Jerry on the bus in Indy talked about how we're going to move him all over the place.
You should. You should make it very, very hard for for people to cover him. Is what you should do.
And they moved him around some last year.
Yep.
Yeah, they did. And by the way, Hearns, he's starting to work out.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah, he's out there in captain's days. Yeah.
So he's back on the field running.
Do you guys have interest in bringing back Tavon Austin?
I've seen him around the complex a little bit here too.
Now that you've lost Cole.
1-year deal, veteran minimum thing? Absolutely. Yeah, let him be my returner. Let him get in camp. Yeah. Let him be that guy. I'm telling you, the draft has got guys in there too.
Oh yeah.
If you want to sit there and look at, you got an extra compensatory 4. That'd be a good spot to grab one of these kids right there. And to me, that's you got what you had out of Cole Beasley. Congratulations. Move on, try and get a little bit better there if you can.
And you got the guy coming off IR, right? The wide receiver.
Oh, Cedric Wilson.
Cedric Wilson. Yeah.
Now, he's not a slot guy, probably.
More outside.
He's outside.
Yeah,
He
more
played
outside.
a little in college, but he's not that shifty guy.
Yeah, exactly.
So the guys they have on their roster, potential slot guys are.
Well, you could say Alan Hearns would be the one guy because you watch Jacksonville. That's kind of where you evaluated him right there. You look at Cooper would be a guy. What about Lance Lenore?
Yeah,
there's another guy. I mean, they love Lance Lenore.
Yeah.
Maybe he's not now. Lance Lenore at practice is really good in the game. Sometimes he stinks. So we got to figure that out. But yeah, I trust me. You listen to the draft show on Thursday. We talk about slot players all the time, guys that can do both.
Because like Isabella is a pure slot guy, but you think he might have to be 58 or something.
Watch him. Yeah,
I love studying slot guys.
Well, watch him play against Georgia.
Yeah,
he holds the all-time record against Georgia at Sanford Stadium. He caught like 15 balls in a game. I'm like, does he drop one here? It's like, no, Kent doing a great job of producing on the fly right here. That's Andy Isabella right there. Kind of a short guy.
So how high is he going to go? You think?
You might have to grab this guy at 58. Now, again, would you take a slot player at 58? You probably wouldn't, but that's kind of where this is at.
And like we're talking about a Hearns or a Cooper, you don't have to typecast yourself. You can try to find a guy who can do both.
If you're going to take a guy wide receiver at 58, I'd take the Samuel kid, Mickey's guy from South Carolina, because he could play in the slot.
Debo.
Mickey's guy.
Should have kept Switzer.
By the way, he had a pretty productive season in Pittsburgh.
It wasn't bad.
Uh-huh. That's right.
Jahad Ward's working out, though, so we're good.
Yes, that's right. That pass rush that he
that worked out.
produced.
He looked good in OTAs, Kent. He looked real good in OTAs.
It was all OTAs.
He was, without the pads.
So when are the Cowboys going to sign somebody? What's your over/under on when they're going to sign
This
someone
weekend.
from outside the building?
This weekend.
Yeah.
This
Friday.
weekend.
What position?
I think they're going to sign the safety.
The safety?
I think so.
Whoa! We saved the best for last year.
I think this.
Brian brought us going out on that limb.
Why not?
The safety.
Why not? If
the University of Texas.
We live in a
not
day.
Adrian Phillips, but
we live in a day and age where you're wrong for 10 minutes and then somebody move on.
I'm going to tweet that. Brian Broaddus says this weekend, Earl Thomas.
I think what's going to happen. You have to survive the next couple of days. And then you're going to see. You're going to see. You see. Okay, what do we need to do to? Yeah. And again, this is. I'm speculating that the Cowboys actually want to do this deal. Mm-hmm. If the Cowboys don't want to do this deal, I'm going to look like a fool. That's okay.
So, what kind of money?
I think they would do it if it was for their number.
That's exactly. Yeah. I think.
So, what do you think?
And if he doesn't find another landing spot, what's he going to wait for?
See, that's what I'm saying. If you survive the Atlanta thing. Give me today, give me tomorrow. By this weekend, we very well could be talking about Earl Thomas signing with the Dallas Cowboys.
He needs to move on a deal though, doesn't he?
For how much
like
money?
you said before the chairs run out type thing, right?
Oh no, yeah, that's what I'm saying. He's running out of teams,
but they've run out almost.
If you're Earl Thomas and you're playing now and you didn't get what you wanted, don't you want to go where you would be happy? He's got Chris Richard here. He feels like, oh, that's a good scheme for me. They'll take care of me. Heck, they just did a survey on where agents did a survey about where do they want their players to end up. You know what the number one team was? Dallas was the number one team.
And he just moved. I read Austin, right?
Yeah, he's in Austin.
Yep.
Let me say this again. This is just. I think that by this weekend, I'll step out on that limb that they'll get Earl Thomas because I don't think he's going to have a place to go. I don't. And I think he's going to come hat in hand.
But doesn't that scare you?
Nah. You know what scares me?
Nobody else wants him.
You know what scares me?
What a happy St. Patrick's Day parade it will be.
You know what scares me, Mickey, is giving $88 million to Nick Foles.
Yeah, I know.
Scares me. Yeah. I can live with paying 16 to 20 million. I can live with that.
16 to 20 million.
Guaranteed 2 years. I can live with that.
You gave Cedric Thornton $20 million a couple years ago.
Thank you.
How will it be packaged, though? I mean, what will they?
You're going to have to probably guarantee it. You can guarantee the whole thing if you want. Or you can. They talk about injury.
You can announce it as 3 years, $45 million,
sure.
and it can be 16 to 20 guaranteed.
Why not?
And
Why
there
not?
you go. And then he doesn't have to swallow his pride.
No.
Or just put it the deal like Tyrann Mathieu, 3 years, $42 million. Seriously,
you're not competing against anybody now. Well, maybe Atlanta, but he's going to come hat in hand.
I'm just shocked by this. When Tyrann Mathieu couldn't get a deal last year,
and
then he gets this monster deal. From Kansas City, and Earl's still out there. I'm surprised
because of age and injury.
That's because he wants to be a Cowboy.
Well, that's what I said. Do teams just assume that
anybody
he's
else
coming here?
Anybody else going with me on a signing? I mean, you don't have
I'll
to
go for it. I'll go
no,
for
No,
it.
it doesn't have to be Earl. It just could be anybody. Anybody out there you like?
Well, that's the guy I want.
Okay. Rob, you in?
Anybody?
Yeah, I am.
I'm signing Jeremy Parnell.
Okay. 1 year.
You want Cam Fleming back, Mick?
No, he doesn't. 1 year. That's not a bad name, by the way.
Parnell?
Absolutely a good name.
Didn't he do okay in Jacksonville?
It was not bad at all.
Shouldn't he get a lot more than...
And he got cut.
Than a backup role here?
Yeah.
He got a pretty big deal from Jacksonville.
Yeah, because back when they had all kind of money.
Yeah.
Well, now they don't have
Now they don't have any money. Yeah, they needed to pay a quarterback.
That's my point. Doesn't mean he's a bad player. Cap restraints.
I'm Mickey gave you
I'm
a good name.
on board with this Earl Thomas. Let's do it.
I just, you know what? I just think this weekend, we need to figure out, though, we need to get Atlanta out of the way and make sure that, and then.
And they have Keanu Neal, DeMonte Kazee, and Ricardo Allen.
And Kazee was just, he was a reason why they lost when we played him last year.
Keanu Neal was hurt.
Yeah, so that's another reason why. Yeah.
Yep.
They just need to structure the contract with a lot of incentives in it if they do it. He's missed 19 of 48
So they
games.
need to do it like they did the Sean Lee contract.
But you know those games that he does play, he's a badass.
Yeah.
19 of 48.
19 of 48.
In the last, 4 seasons?
3 years.
3 years?
Yeah.
48.
Britt Brown, Jim Mara, they'll take care of him. He'll be fine.
Journalism math. There you
All
go.
right, I think we've run over our time here on Talking Cowboys.
Go away,
I can't
Mickey.
wait to talk about the Earl Thomas signing next Tuesday.
It was Beasley's fault.
Here on Talking Cowboys.
This has been a production of DallasCowboys.com and the Dallas Cowboys Football Club.
How about this, Cowboys?